Hello, everybody. This is Maxine Taylor, and I've got my Trumpology report for December 2019. Before I jump into that, let me mention something I think you might be interested in. Every year, right around this time, I offer a holiday special. And this year is no different. In fact, this year, I think it's a real important thing that I do it. I'm offering another special, and I'm calling this one Foresight is 2020. A little play on words there. 2020 is going to be a really huge year. It's going to start with 2 eclipses, actually one from December this month and another from January of 2020. And as we move forward, it's going to get crazier and crazier. I know that you're going to want your own forecast. And so what I've seen is that if I can break it down for you in 6-month segments, you can apply it. You can handle that very, very easily. So I'm going to be offering Foresight is 2020, which is a 6-month personal roadmap for you. Would you like to know how your kids are going to do, how your career is going to go, how your money looks, your health, your family, whatever is triggered and activated in your personal chart for the first 6 months of 2020 is what I'm going to offer. And I think you'll enjoy it very much. So just go to my website, MaxineTaylor.com. It's on the front page. You can't miss it. Right at the top. Easy to get to. Order it, and I will put you on the stack of charts waiting on me, and I'll let you know when I'm going to send you your forecast video. So let's talk about Trump. Well, this is the planetary placements of the sun and the full moon and the new moon in December. I've got the rest of them in just a second. So, first of all, the sun, the giver of life, the center of our universe, the creative energy, is in his 4th house of home and family and real estate. These are focal points for him. His home and family being important to him, and his real estate holdings. So when I say that it deals with his home, I'm not talking about the White House, because I am not sure I'm being serious. I'm not sure he considers the White House his home. He has moved down to Mar-a-Lago, as I understand it, and that would be home. So here is the sun lighting up his home. However, remember what he's got in that 4th house of home, family, and real estate. He has the South Node, which can drain you if you spend too much time there. You want to balance it with the North Node, which he will. It will happen. When the sun sits on his South Node, which is the area that you have mastered in past lives and which comes very easily to you. But if you spend too much time there, it can drain you. Okay, that's one part of it. The moon is the other. Moon is our mommy's message to us about where to look for our emotional security. And he's looking for it in real estate, home and family, and conjunct the South Node, the moon which is what we immediately, instinctively gravitate toward. Look at your own chart. Find the moon in your chart. This is something that you have mastered. You bring it through from a past life. The South Node is what you have mastered, actually. The moon is not necessarily the mastership, but it's instinctive, because it's about emotional security. On the 12th and 13th of December, the sun sits on that. And you might say, well, the sun, the giver of life, that's really good. And it might very well be. However, that South Node moon is tricky because if you spend too much time there, it can drain you. Now, on the full moon, which is the 11th and 12th, right around the time that the sun is sitting on his South Node in moon, the sun and moon are opposite each other on the full moon. On the 12th and 13th, the sun is hitting his South Node in moon. But on the 11th and 12th, the full moon sits on his Uranus. Again, unpredictability, maybe putting his foot in it. You know what I'm saying? Rebelling, essentially saying, I'm doing it my way. So we can expect a lot out of him on the full moon. Now you might say, well, we always expect that because he has to be in the forefront of the news. And that's the truth, he does. And it's going to be even more so. Unpredictable. It sits on his North Node, which balances the South Node. Okay? And this can enhance his public image. It also sits on his Sun, which is his ego, everybody's ego. So with a full moon, his career comes to a head. Wherever the full moon is, it comes to a head. His public image comes to a head. And we can expect, I won't say the unpredictable because he's shown us that we're used to his unpredictability, but it's going to be right there on the full moon. Now, the sun moves into the 5th house on the 21st. 5th house is children, it's speculation, it's sex, it's fun. So if he's in Mar-a-Lago, we can expect him to have fun. Now, the new moon is a solar eclipse. It is the last solar eclipse of 2019. In January 2020, we have the next eclipse, and they usually occur in pairs, and so they tag team each other. And this is the first of the eclipses that is ushering in a very unpredictable 2020, primarily, as I mentioned earlier, the second half, because of Mercury and Venus both being retrograde for a good bit of the time, and on top of each other, tag teaming each other. But I'll get into that second half of 2020. So the solar eclipse, new energy with children, with speculation. He's a gambler, takes a chance. With sex, and anything else that is enjoyable, because that's the 5th house. Okay, that sets him up. Now, Mercury, what we think about and talk about, is in his 3rd house. It has been. And when Mercury's in your 3rd house, no matter how talkative you have been in the past, you're going to be even more talkative. So he's amped up his talking game, the rallies he's got, etc. On the 5th of December, Mercury enters his 4th house. And so we're finding once again, Mercury, what he thinks about and talks about, deals with the South Node and the moon on the 22nd and 23rd. And this can bring issues for him relating to home and family, relating even to friends. I'm adding a little more to this because I'm looking at his natal chart. And the moon rules his 11th house. So there can be a lot of talk about real estate that is draining to him, that is not positive to him. Because the South Node is what we've mastered in past lives, I often wonder who these people are in his life. Who were these people in the past lives in which he mastered all of this real estate stuff? Those of you who are following me, you probably thought the same thing. Okay, so he's thinking about his family, he's talking about his family, he's talking about real estate. On the 28th, Mercury enters his 5th house. Now remember, the sun enters his 5th house on the 21st, which means that in January, he's still going to have Mercury in the 5th and the sun in the 5th. So he's talking and thinking about speculation, about fun. I don't know where he'll be, but wherever it is, he's going to be having fun, especially with the sun there. Okay, now let's look at Mars and Venus and even Jupiter. Mars, what we fight with and fight for. It's what comes first to us. It's what we throw ourselves into. And here is Mars in his 3rd house. Mars is anger. And he has been angry and will continue to be angry and speak angrily. Well, you might say, well, so what else is new? Nothing, nothing. And that's what's happening. More of it. And you might be saying, how could there be more? Well, watch. Just keep your eyes open. On the 26th, the day after Christmas, Mars enters his 4th house. Now, it's not on his moon south node yet. It will be. But it's in his 4th house. So Mars is what you fight with and fight for. He's fighting with his family. He's fighting for his family. Real estate, home, all this kind of stuff. So there can be issues that come up that really aggravate him over the domestic situation, over home, real estate, and since that's what we throw ourselves into because it's number one, there can be more real estate ventures for him. Venus, the lesser benefic, the planet of love and money, is in his 5th house. And Jupiter, the greater benefic, is also in his 5th house, and it's going to stay there. For, let's see, it'd be a little over about a year. And this is speculation. This is fun. Sex, gambling, all the fun things that he would enjoy, golf. So here's Venus. He's playing, he's having a good time. It sits on his vertex, that's his karmic role in life, on the 14th of the month. Now remember, on the 12th and 13th, the sun is sitting on that south node moon, possibly draining him, possibly, it's like a leak in a bucket. So, with Venus blessing his vertex, his karmic role, he's having fun. There will be speculation. There will be gambling, perhaps. There will be sex, perhaps, and time spent with children. Then on the 21st of the month, it moves into his 6th house of work and health. He'll be self-indulgent. And with Jupiter now sitting in that 5th house with Venus, the two benefics, there is self-indulgence, enormous self-indulgence. And it sounds, very innocuous, nothing to be concerned over. And it's just more of the same. And this is why the second half of the year, as we get closer to the election, things are going to start getting tense. And just a little tidbit that you might be interested in that I noticed when I was doing the diurnals for his election. The election is November 3rd, 2020. Mercury, which will have been retrograde up to that point, goes direct on November 3rd. Now, when it goes retrograde or direct, there's a change in the energy pattern. We can expect the unexpected in the ballots, in the hacking, in recall. Hard to say how it's going to manifest. But it's very telling that Mercury will be going direct on the day of the election. And as I had mentioned before, if he's in DC or New York on November 3rd, I will stand by my prediction that I put on YouTube. If he's anywhere else, I don't know where he would be, all bets are off. So this is a time that is going to be tense and vitally important in the history of our country, the United States, depending on what is going on in your country at that time. It can be vitally important as well. But it is important for all of us. The aspects that will be in place the second half of the year are important for everybody around the world because of the retrogrades, the double retrograde between Venus and Mercury. Mars goes retrograde the second half of the year. That's like flatlining, no energy. Lots going on. So I'm going to keep you posted, and I look forward to doing your Foresight is 2020 special report. So have a wonderful holiday season, and till we meet again in January, may the stars shine brightly on you and yours. Bye for now.